Hey, it's Matt Henry, BigSkyRise.com. So I decided to do this video a little bit late today. I had thought about postponing it and putting it up a day later than initially planned. However, I gave it a little bit of thought and realized that I should probably be practicing what I'm preaching here, particularly for today's post, which is talking about getting started. I wanted to get started with this video now, get it put up and share it with you, even though this may not be the exact perfect time for when I wanted to do it. I'm a little bit tired. It's incredibly humid and warm where I am right now, and it's probably a little bit noisy here too. I'm hoping that won't get caught on the video too much. Anyway, so I wanted to share today's post and, like I said, practice what I'm preaching in this particular blog post today. And I wanted to tell you two stories. So these two stories are not in the post. This is sort of a supplementary video. And the post itself is not really covered in this video. So I highly recommend reading the post and watching the video. Anyway, the two stories are both related to water, believe it or not. The first has to do with when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I lived out in the countryside, and beautiful countryside, love it. That's off topic, but I had to say it. I used to go down to the river in the summer and jump off of this pillar into the river. The pillar was a former support for a bridge that was no longer there. It was probably about 15 feet high or so. High enough to be intimidating when you're a kid, and particularly when you're first starting out. So the story behind this pillar is we'd go out, it'd be a nice summer day, we'd swim out to it. It was in the middle of the river. We'd check, make sure there weren't any logs or things that had sort of shown up overnight, which happens sometimes. And then we'd scale up the pillar. We had managed to get a rope over and I think a ladder at some point, so we managed to get up. We get up to the top, and one of two things would happen. The first one would be you'd go up to the edge, you'd look, you'd hesitate, you'd pause, you'd think, and then you'd step back from the edge for a little bit. And the second thing that could happen was that you'd go up, do a quick check, make sure nothing had floated into the landing zone, and you just run and jump off. And there was a difference between the two, and this difference really does relate to today's blog post. The difference is that when you'd go up and you'd make sure it was safe and then jump, it was a lot easier to do. You got the nice adrenaline rush from jumping, but you didn't have some of that pre-anxiety buildup that you got from the other method, which was to go up, look, hesitate, and back up. And what inevitably happened was the more that you hesitated, the more that you went up, you looked, and you said, well, I'm gonna wait for a minute for some sort of better moment to jump. You had more anxiety, you had more worry, and it became that much harder to go ahead and take the leap. So that's the first story. The second story has to do with my showering, which is a bit odd to share in a public YouTube post. But the point behind it is that I take cold showers, okay? So, and I have for a little while now. And when I get in the cold shower, it's pure cold. There's no jump in the warm, then turn on the cold. It's just cold straight. And the other week I was noticing something and thinking about something, and what it was is there was a hesitation. I would turn on the cold water, I'd stand there for a few seconds and sort of psych myself up and be like, all right, I can do this, and I can go in and I'm gonna be fine. Because one of the things about cold showers, when you've sort of allowed your body to acclimate to them, is that after the initial shock, your body like adapts quickly and you actually don't really feel that cold. So the thing was, I noticed I was doing this hesitation before I jumped in, and I was like, well, what's really the reason for that, and what's the point of it? and it sort of dawned on me that there was no benefit. There's no benefit to that hesitation, and in fact there were only consequences in that I was wasting water that I shouldn't have been wasting. And so I changed it, and instead of turning on the water, psyching myself up and jumping in, I just get in, stand under the shower, turn on the cold, and just go. And in doing that, I discovered that there was no drawback. In fact, there was only positive in that I wasn't wasting water, and on top of it, I didn't have that sort of period where I had to psych myself up. By just going for it right off the bat, I was able to avoid those negative things and still have all the positive aspects of stuff. And that's kind of the point behind both of these stories, is that in the first one with the pillar jumping, hesitating and waiting for a perfect moment to take a leap, it usually has the consequence of building up more anxiety in your head. It makes it harder to actually get to the point where you do take the leap, because first, there is no perfect moment. There is no exact moment where everything's going to be just right and you're going to go for it, because as you wait, you go, well, maybe this could be a little bit better, or well, maybe this could be a little bit better, or if I just wait another 5 seconds, I'll have a little bit more, whatever it is that I need to get started. And so by hesitating, you're only doing yourself a disservice. And in the second story that I shared there, it's a similar thing. It's that you don't have a real benefit to waiting. There's no good purpose for it, and it's only delaying either the inevitable or delaying something that you would want to have happen. And in the case of the cold shower, I'm wasting water if I delay it, and all of the benefits that I get out of a cold shower, they're still there if I just went straight into it. So, like I said, I'm not gonna rehash what's in the written portion of the blog post in this video, so I encourage you to go over there, read about it. It's a little bit more detailed in terms of how this topic might apply to your life, and in terms of making changes for the better in numerous ways. And I really just wanted to share these stories to give you some real life examples of kind of what I'm talking about. And I hope they prove at least entertaining to some degree, if not helpful. But if you're watching this anywhere other than on the BigSkyRise.com blog, do head over there. Make sure to read the post that goes with it. And if you did find this video helpful or entertaining or interesting in some manner, please do give me a thumbs up. Let me know. Otherwise, feel free to give me a thumbs down. I'm okay with that. My ego can handle it. Anyway, I hope you are doing well, and I hope that this video post, previous video posts, ones to come, and the blog posts associated with them do help you out. And please let me know if there's anything I can do specifically to help you. Like I said, I hope you're doing well, and I will be back in touch with you very soon, and have a great one in the meantime. Bye-bye.